If you want to make money with GameFi, this new listing on Bitget might be very interesting to you. Good morning, fellas. New coin called EPT. After I saw this coin was listed, I wanted to do some research about it, so I went and I gathered all the information. I got their documents, their foundation information, and I put that all into an AI and I had it create a podcast for us. And as I was editing the podcast, I was getting more and more interested in the project because it's an evolution of a successful project from Web 2 into Web 3. And so if you are a gamer, this tool might be something you are very interested in. So be sure to sit back and listen through the podcast. It'll explain everything about the project. It'll explain how users, developers, and investors might make money from this project. Be sure to subscribe to the channel because we're checking out new coins all the time. If you'd like to get my personal opinion on what's going on with altcoin season, be sure to join my membership. It's $2.99 a month. Now let's jump into the podcast.
Today, we're looking at something pretty new, the Balance EPT token. Ever wonder how AI and Web3 might actually start working together?
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
Exactly. So this project, Balance, claims to be doing just that. We're going to break down what it is, maybe what problems it's trying to solve, and definitely stick around till the end. Because we'll explore how this whole ecosystem, might offer ways for users, developers, maybe even investors to get involved and potentially benefit. Let's dive in.
Sounds good. Yeah, you share quite a bit of info, some YouTube stuff from Stock Investor and Crypto Breeze, the project's own website, info on EPAL, which is like its predecessor.
Right, the Web 2 version.
Exactly. And even a Bitget listing announcement. So yeah, our mission today is basically to pull out the key bits about Balance and this EPT token.
Okay, so let's start simple. What is Balance, fundamentally?
Well, they build themselves as a next-gen AI Web3 protocol and framework for social and gaming. So think of it as trying to build a new online space.
Wow. Like, what's the tech?
It's really about mashing together AI, blockchain tech, and decentralized apps, or dApps. The goal seems to be creating smarter and more user-controlled online interactions.
Okay, intriguing. What are the main parts of this Balance world?
Two things really jump out from the materials. First, these AI agents, they call them EPALs.
EPLs, okay.
Yeah, and the idea is they're supposed to be way more than just basic chatbots. They're aiming for intelligent, adaptive digital companions.
Companions for what? Like Alexa?
Sort of, but potentially deeper for entertainment, learning, maybe even work stuff. And what's kind of cool is that users are meant to be able to create their own personalized ones.
How?
By feeding them custom prompts, strategies, preferences, that kind of thing. So you move away from a generic assistant to something tailored by you for you.
Personalized AI. That does sound different. What's the other piece?
The other main bit is something called keynodes. Now, the sources weren't super detailed here, but they're mentioned as being important for governing the network and keeping it secure. It hints at that whole Web3 decentralized control idea,
Right, where the community has some say.
Potentially, yeah. Node holders might influence future decisions, unlike on, say, traditional platforms.
So what's the big picture then? What problem is Balance solving, or what's the main benefit they're pushing?
I think the overarching goal is creating this really interactive, decentralized place online. A key benefit they keep highlighting is a much better user experience.
How so?
They believe blending AI deeply will make interacting with these EPLs way more engaging than what we have now. And the Web3 part, the blockchain, is supposed to create a stronger bond between users and their AI agents, moving beyond old-school centralized models.
So not just surface-level AI chat.
Exactly, yeah. And that personalization is key. Letting users easily make AI agents for specific things, gaming buddies, study aids, whatever, seems central.
And they mentioned gaming specifically.
Definitely. They're leveraging their experience from EPAL, which was huge in the gaming companion space. They talk about interactive entertainment and even rewards.
Rewards?
How? Well, AI EPLs that perform well, they get good ratings or usage, might get liquidity support and platform perks, which could boost their value within the system.
Interesting. And how do these EPLs get out there? How do people find them?
Apparently, they get automatically deployed through something called Balance's Fans protocol. Users can then find and pay for their services.
Ah, so there's a payment aspect.
Yeah, and a revenue sharing model.
Yeah.
It seems the income gets split between the AI creator, the platform itself, and maybe the providers of the underlying AI models. The idea is to encourage more variety in AI EPLs, maybe lower costs, increase profits for creators, and just make the user experience better overall.
And the Web3 angle helps with creativity.
That's the claim. Web3 supposedly gives users more freedom to design and customize these EPLs, make them unique, meet diverse needs. They think there's this unmet demand for truly personalized digital experiences that they can fill.
Okay, let's get into the token itself, the EPT token. What are the basics? Tokenomics.
Right, so the ticker is EPT. Total supply is 10 billion tokens. The Bitget announcement listed an ERC20 contract address on Ethereum. As for allocation, the sources gave a rough breakdown. Liquidity gets 5%, advisors 5%, ecosystem 15%, incentive pool and marketing another 15%, team gets 25%, node rewards 25%, and then 2 private rounds got 5% each.
Okay, a fairly standard-looking distribution. Now, you mentioned EPAL earlier. What's the exact connection?
Yeah, Balance's position is the evolution of EPAL, and EPAL was apparently massive, the world's biggest gaming companion platform, they claim, launched back in March 2020.
Wow, how big?
The numbers mentioned are 4.2 million users and 450,000 existing EPLs. They even say EPAL became the term for gaming companionship.
So Balance is trying to bring those users over.
Seems like it. They explicitly mention welcoming 5 million users from EPAL to Balance, kind of bridging their Web2 success into this new Web3 venture.
Okay, makes sense. And a big part of any new token project is getting listed on exchanges, right? Where can people expect to find EPT?
Yeah, big news on that front.
Right, and you mentioned Bitget specifically.
Correct. Bitget is listing EPT in their AI Innovation and Web3 zone. Trading for EPT USDT starts there also on April 21st, 2025 at 12.00 UTC. Deposits are actually already open, apparently.
And withdrawals.
Withdrawals are set to open the next day, April 22nd, 2025 at 13.00 UTC.
Okay, lots of listing activity around April 21st. Now, for listeners maybe thinking about trading on Bitget, you mentioned something earlier.
Ah, yes. Quick plug, if you're considering trading EPT or anything else on Bitget, you can potentially save 20% on your trading fees. Just use the link Bitget Deal. You'll find it in the show notes for this deep dive.
Nice one. Okay, so we've covered what Balance is, the token, the listings. Now, let's get to that part we teased. How might people actually potentially make money or benefit from getting involved with Balance and EPT?
Right, the practical side. Let's break it down. For regular users, there seem to be a few angles. The platform suggests you might earn rewards just by interacting with popular high-performing AI EPLs.
How exactly? Details.
The sources were a bit light on the exact mechanics there, but it's mentioned. More concretely, users can create their own AI EPLs and monetize them through that revenue sharing model we talked about.
Ah, so become a creator.
Exactly. And, if the ecosystem grows, the AI EPLs you create or use might become more valuable or useful. Plus, that Crypto Breeze video hinted at potential airdrops or reward programs.
Airdrops? Like free tokens?
Potentially, yeah. They mentioned doing social tasks, follow on Twitter, link Discord, weekly check-ins to earn points, which often translates to airdrops in these kinds of launches. They also brought up buying nodes as another way to potentially earn, but stressed it wasn't required for the airdrop points.
Okay, so interaction, creation, maybe some airdrop potential for users. What about developers?
For devs, it looks pretty straightforward.
Got
They
it.
can build and launch their AI EPLs onto the platform and earn revenue from the protocol sharing system.
So build cool AI, get paid if people use it.
Pretty much. And they could also contribute more broadly by creating new tools or applications that work within the Balance framework itself.
Makes sense. And finally, for investors, what are the avenues there?
Well, the most direct route is obviously trading the EPT token once it hits those exchanges like MEXC and Bitget starting April 21st.
Buy low, sell high, the usual.
Right. The hope for investors would be that as Balance grows, gets adopted, the demand for EPT increases, and thus its value potentially goes up. There's also the mention of those keynodes again.
Ah, yeah, the governance things.
Exactly. Buying a keynode might be an investment play, perhaps offering rewards or other benefits, but again, the sources didn't really detail the costs or specific returns for node holders. So that's more speculative based on what we have.
Okay, so several potential angles depending on who you are: user, creator, developer, trader, maybe node operator. Now, before we wrap up, super important point, we need to cover the disclaimers, right?
Absolutely crucial. The Balance website itself makes this very clear in its legal disclaimers. Everyone needs to understand. EPT is designed primarily for using the Balance platform, accessing services, participating in the ecosystem.
It's not intended as an investment product.
Correct. They explicitly state it's not an investment product, and there are absolutely no guarantees about its value, or, even if you'll be able to sell it easily, no guarantee of liquidity.
So buyer beware.
Definitely. They strongly advise doing your own thorough, independent research. And of course, nothing we've discussed here today constitutes financial advice. Please make your own decisions carefully.
Excellent point. Okay, so let's quickly recap then. Balance, EPT. It's a new project trying to fuse AI with Web3, focusing on social and gaming. The EPT token is hitting exchanges like MEXC and Bitget around April 21st.
And there are different ways people might engage using the platform, creating AI EPLs, developing for it, trading the token, maybe even running nodes, though details on that last one are thin.
Right. So that leads us to a final thought for everyone listening. As AI and Web3 continue to merge, what kind of personalized AI, like these EPLs, would you actually find useful or interesting?
Yes, fascinating space. What kind of digital companion would you create? Or what part of these ecosystems, the AI, the decentralization, the rewards, grabs your attention most? Something to think about.
Definitely food for thought. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep up with interesting new tech and projects, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next exploration.